What is good, Raider Nation? It's your boy Raider Alex, back with yet another video for you guys. Anybody that's new to the channel, you guys love Raider related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That being said, let's jump right into the topic of this video. The Las Vegas Raiders made some moves today to address certain positions. General Manager Tom Telesco has been making some free agent acquisitions, and today we made two moves that I wanted to talk about. The first is the Raiders ended up signing veteran offensive lineman Andrus Peat. He is 30 years of age. He is 6'7", 315 pounds, so he's a big offensive lineman. He appeared in 17 games last year for the New Orleans Saints, in which he started in 15 of those games. Last season, he allowed 2 sacks and 29 pressures throughout 809 snaps. 476 of those were pass blocking snaps. Peat has started a career 102 games with nearly 2,000 snaps at left tackle and over 4,000 snaps at left guard. He was also a 3-time Pro Bowler at one point from 2018 to 2020. And really, he didn't play that bad last season just based off those numbers, but he definitely did struggle at times. But he's definitely a player that his best years are behind him at this point. But just giving off those snaps, he has played the vast majority of his career at left guard. Ideally, I don't want him to be our left tackle. I want him at the left guard position. But either way, this signing to me is just depth. He's a good veteran option, so I think very likely he's going to come in to compete at that left guard position. And he is depth at the left tackle position in case Colton Miller ever went down for us. But if that ever happened, I mean, we have a couple different options of what we could do at left tackle. We could also just move Thayer Mumford out there, but really that's where I see him. Gonna be a left guard for us. And really, I mean, I think this is a good depth signing. He can fill in at left guard and left tackle if need be. And really, I think this is just gonna give direct competition to our left guard, Dylan Parham, who I think he needs to step it up this year and just really solidify himself as our starting guard. Moving into his 3rd year in the league, I thought in his rookie season he did really well, especially coming in as a rookie. Last year though, he didn't have the best season. I don't want to necessarily say that he regressed, but he didn't have that progression I was hoping to see going into year 2. So I think this is going to be a big season for Dylan Parham. I like getting some veterans in the building that can put some competition to these young guys. And also too, maybe he can help him learn a thing or two, help the development of the young guys on the offensive line. But yeah, I think Dylan Parham's a really good player, but he just really needs to put it all together this year. He needs to solidify himself next season. And another move we made today is we ended up signing wide receiver Jalen Guyton, who was previously with the Los Angeles Chargers under Tom Telesco. Jalen Guyton is 6'1", 210 pounds, and he ran a 4.33 40-yard dash at the combine back in 2019. Throughout his whole career, he has 71 receptions for a little bit over 1,100 yards and 7 touchdown catches. So the Raiders have added depth at the wide receiver position with Guyton, and we also signed wide receiver Michael Gallup last week. They signed him to a 1-year, $3 million contract. Michael Gallup is 27 years of age. He had 34 receptions for 413 yards and 3 touchdowns last season with the Cowboys. And he has a career 266 receptions for nearly 3,800 yards and 21 touchdown passes. So really with these moves, I mean, the Raiders have added legit speed to the wide receiver group. And I think this Jalen Guyton signing is just good depth, and he could possibly contribute to special teams. And I just really like the competition we're going to have this season at the wide receiver position. Really, the wide receiver position, you look at it, I mean, we're pretty stacked at that position at the moment. We got Devontae Adams, the clear-cut number 1. We got Jacoby Myers, our number 2. And really that number 3 position is going to be between Trey Tucker, Michael Gallup. Jalen Guyton may fight for it. And we also got some UDFAs that we signed at the wide receiver position. So I like the makeup of our skill position group at wide receiver. We also got receiving options in our tight end group as well with Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer. So really this is another position where we have added good depth, and I think this is good competition. And kind of like how I mentioned with Dylan Parham earlier, I think this is also going to be a big wake-up call for our second-year wide receiver Trey Tucker, as we really need to see his game take a leap going into year 2. This is going to be a big season for him. The Raiders are adding speed. Trey Tucker has that speed. The only thing that's going against him though is he doesn't have ideal height at the wide receiver position. But Trey Tucker is definitely a player that I feel like is kind of in that bubble where he may be stuck in no man's land if he can't perform this season. Tom Telesco did not personally draft him, so he isn't necessarily going to be loyal to Trey Tucker unless he can show his promise on the football field. I do like Trey Tucker overall as a player. I thought he brought a different dynamic and element to this offense. I think he just opens up the playbook for us. I love his speed. But as it stands, I love more the potential compared to what we have actually seen on the football field. It was a little bit of a quiet season for him. It took him a while to get going. Now, part of that can definitely be attributed to having Josh McDaniels as our head coach. So I like Trey Tucker, but there's no doubt he has some things he has to improve on. His route running could get better, and one of the things he definitely needs to improve on is his hands. He needs to be more consistent catching the football. He struggled with that in the preseason, also in the regular season, and also he needs to be able to get both feet in bounds along the sidelines. I remember a couple of different times where he missed out on big plays because he wasn't able to get both feet in bounds. But what I liked is the last couple of weeks against the Colts and the Denver Broncos, he was able to get big receptions from Aiden O'Connell. So really, I hope Trey Tucker can step up and be that legit number 3 option at wide receiver. If he doesn't though, if he can't live up to that, we have other good alternatives in Michael Gallup and Jalen Guyton that also possess that speed factor that this offense has been lacking. And we really address speed this offseason at the wide receiver position. Not only did we sign those 2 players, but we also added a UDFA signing in Trick Griffin out of Mississippi State. And this is another speedster wide receiver that can take the top off of the defense and could provide value as a return specialist for us as well. And really last season, Trey Tucker was the only guy on the roster that had that legit speed. Now there's a couple different guys, so he's definitely going to have to step it up. I think it's going to be a big year for him. Hopefully he can put it all together. But really, the Raiders have been doing a nice job filling out the roster, adding depth and competition to the offensive line group and the wide receiver position. I think maybe they can address the cornerback position with a veteran option. But at the same time, I also don't think the cornerback position is that bad currently on the roster like most other fans believe. I mean, you could always get better and add some depth at that position. But really, I like the cornerback situation we have right now. I like the draft picks we made with DeCamerion Richardson and 7th round cornerback MJ Devonshire. But if we got another veteran at the cornerback position, it wouldn't be a bad idea either. But so far, I think the Raiders roster is in a good spot moving forward. We have a lot of depth in most positions, and really it's just going to be super interesting to see the different training camp battles and preseason battles in the future, especially at that wide receiver position. But I do like that we're adding speed to the wide receiver group, and hopefully we can add that speed to the return game and special teams, especially in a season where we might start seeing NFL teams breaking off big gains and potentially touchdowns off the kickoff returns with the new NFL rules that have been implemented. So definitely something to keep an eye on. But overall, I like the signing of Andrus Peat. Gives good depth at the left guard position. I like how we've added speed at the wide receiver position as well. But Raider Nation, I definitely want to get your guys' feedback in the comment section down below. What do you guys think of these 2 moves we made today? And just in general, what do you think about the depth of our roster moving forward? Let me know in that comment section down below. But with that being said, Raider Nation, that's all for you guys in today's video. Anybody that's new to the channel, you guys love Raider related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That being said, I will see you guys in the next one.